My mother's voice cut through the dinner chatter like a knife. "We've been enabling you long enough. It's time you paid what you owe this family." I looked around the table. My brother, his wife, 2 aunts, an uncle, 3 cousins, everyone staring at me. Dad slid a number across the table on a folded napkin. $78,000? "That's your share," he said. The room went silent. Now, you might be wondering what happens when you spend 30 years calling someone irresponsible. And then that someone becomes a CPA? Let me show you. I let them finish their little speech. I let them lay out their case in front of the whole family. Then I introduced them to my +1. But before we get to that, I need you to understand something. I had 6 years of spreadsheets in my bag that night, and every single one of them told a different story than the one my parents were selling. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop it in the comments. And hit subscribe, because the receipts only get better from here. Let me rewind. Because this didn't start at dinner. It started the day I was born the wrong kid. My brother got the college fund. I got a lecture about bootstraps. He got business mentorship from Dad. I got told I wasn't cut out for the family company. They ran a small commercial property business. 3 units. Nothing fancy. But it was theirs and they were proud. And my brother was going to inherit it all. I was fine with that. Really. I just wanted to make my own way. So I went to state school. Worked retail during the day. Studied accounting at night. My first job out of college was at a mid-size firm. Auditing family businesses, ironically. I learned fast. I'm good with numbers. And I have one habit that's saved me more times than I can count. I keep every receipt. Every Venmo. Every check. Every text message about money. Call it professional paranoia. My laptop has a folder labeled Family Finances 2017 to present. It's over 400 files deep. I moved out when I was 22. Got my own place across town. And that's when the comments started. "Your brother understands loyalty. You just understand running away." That was Dad's favorite line. Mom's was different. "We sacrificed everything for you and you can't even stay close." But I did stay close. I called every week. I came to dinners. And when they asked for help with bills, I helped. 200 here, 500 there. A few thousand when the business had a rough quarter. I thought keeping my distance would keep me safe. I thought if I was generous and quiet, they'd leave me alone. I was wrong, because last April, they decided that distance meant I owed them, and they were ready to collect. The call came on a Tuesday. Mom's voice too sweet. "We need to have a family meeting. Something important. Can you come by Saturday?" I should have known. Saturday, I walked into their dining room. My brother was already there with his wife. Both of them sitting stiff like they were at a deposition. Dad didn't waste time. He slid a spiral notebook across the table. "The kind you buy at a drugstore. We had someone look at the numbers," he said. "And we realized you owe us." I opened the notebook. Pages and pages of handwritten entries. Dates, amounts, notes in the margins. $36,000 in back rent, Mom said. "From when you lived here. Age 18 to 22. I blinked. "I paid you rent. Every month. I have the checks." Dad shook his head. "That was for utilities. Rent was always separate. You know that." I didn't know that. Because it wasn't true. "And the rest?" I asked. My brother leaned forward. "Opportunity cost. The business lost revenue because you didn't join. We had to hire outside help. That's $42,000. I stared at him. "You're billing me for a job I never agreed to take." Mom's eyes got wet. Her voice cracked. "We gave you everything. And this is how you thank us? By pretending you don't owe us anything?" Dad's voice was ice. "You have 30 days, or we'll take legal action. We've already consulted a lawyer." My brother crossed his arms. "Just handle it like an adult. Family helps family." I stood up. I didn't say a word. I just walked out. My hands were shaking. Not from fear. From clarity. Because I knew exactly what this was. The letter came a week later. Certified mail. Law firm letterhead. Failure to remit payment within 30 days will result in civil proceedings. I sat on my kitchen floor at 2 in the morning and read it 4 times. Then my phone started buzzing. The family group chat I'd muted months ago was exploding. Screenshots of my parents' version of events. Long paragraphs about sacrifice and betrayal. My aunt sent me a private text. "Why are you being so selfish? They're getting older. Just pay them and move on." A cousin I hadn't spoken to in years. Wow. After everything they did for you. Even my partner started to waver. Is $78,000 really worth losing your whole family? I didn't have an answer. I sat there surrounded by old texts from my mom. "You were always the cold one. Your brother knows how to love. I don't know where we went wrong with you." For a moment I thought about paying, just to make it stop. Just to prove I wasn't the villain they were painting me as. Then I opened my laptop. I had files. Lots of them. But I needed to be sure. So I started pulling records I hadn't looked at in years. Bank statements, transfers, photos of old checks I'd taken just in case. And what I found made my blood stop. I rebuilt everything in a spreadsheet. Every payment I'd ever made to my parents, from age 18 to 28. 10 full years. Rent checks, Venmo transfers for bills, cash I'd handed over during so-called business emergencies. I had photos of almost every check. Because that's who I am. Check number 4607. September 2017. $600. Memo line, rent plus utilities. Cashed by my mother. Not utilities, rent plus utilities. I had 60 checks just like it. And the Venmo log went back even further. 200 here, 500 there. Always labeled. Always documented. I called my best friend at midnight. "They didn't forget," I said. "They're rewriting history." She was quiet for a second. Then, "How much did you actually pay them?" I looked at the total at the bottom of my screen. $54,250. 10 years. Not a single month missed. I had proof of every single dollar. But that was just my money. I hadn't looked at theirs yet. And something in my gut told me to dig deeper. So I did. Because if they were lying about what I paid, what else were they lying about? 2 days later, my mom posted on Facebook. She didn't name me. She didn't have to. Sometimes you sacrifice everything for your children. And they thank you with a bill dispute. Heartbroken. 43 comments in an hour. Aunts, cousins, family friends I hadn't seen since high school. Shame on them. "After all you've done. Praying for you." I watched it happen in real time. My reputation shredded in the court of public opinion. Then my brother called. "You're making them sick," he said. "Dad's blood pressure is through the roof. If you don't settle this, I'll make sure everyone knows who you really are." I hung up. An email arrived that night. From my parents. Subject line, final notice. Thanksgiving dinner. 6 p.m., bring a check or don't come back. Thanksgiving was 2 weeks away. My partner's family started asking questions. "Is everything okay? We heard something happened." The walls were closing in. They wanted me buried, shamed into submission, but they forgot something. I know how to read a balance sheet. And I'd just started reading theirs. Their business was an LLC, registered with the state. Public filings. I pulled every report from the last 5 years. And that's when I made a call I never thought I'd make. Public records are a beautiful thing. Every LLC has to file an annual report, revenue, distributions, member names. I downloaded 5 years' worth in under 10 minutes. And there it was. 2022. Gross revenue, $340,000. Distributions to members, $52,000 to my dad, $85,000 to my brother. $137,000 pulled out of a business they told everyone was struggling. I cross-referenced it with a call I'd gotten 6 months earlier. Mom, crying. "We can't afford to host Christmas this year. The business is barely surviving." I'd sent them $5,000 that week, but they weren't struggling. They were paying themselves 6 figures. Then I found the lien, tax lien, filed by the IRS in March 2023. $41,230. Unpaid. I sat back in my chair. They weren't broke. They were hiding money and hiding debts. And they wanted me to be the piggy bank for both. Now I knew exactly who could help me show everyone else the truth. I pulled one more record, just to be sure. Mortgage history on my parents' house. Public record. Easy to find. They'd bought it in 1998 for $310,000. Refinanced twice in the last 4 years. Current balance, $487,000. They owed more now than when they bought it 25 years ago. I sat with that for a minute. Then I called my partner. They're not evil, I said. They're desperate. She was quiet. But instead of asking for help, they made me the villain. I could see it now. The whole picture. Debt they couldn't admit to. A business that looked good on paper but was drowning underneath. My brother had made over $250,000 from that business in 3 years. For part-time work. He needed it to keep looking viable. He needed the money to keep flowing. And my parents needed someone to blame, someone to squeeze. So they built a story, rewrote history, turned me into the ungrateful child who owed them everything. The $78,000 demand wasn't a bill. It was a shakedown. I felt sorry for them. For about 5 minutes. Then I remembered the Facebook post. I wasn't going to humiliate them. But I wasn't going to be their ATM either. So I made a plan. I scrolled through my contacts and found a name I hadn't called in 2 years. Kevin Tran, forensic accountant. We'd worked together at my first firm. He specialized in family business disputes, messy divorces, hidden assets. I took a breath and dialed. Kevin, it's me. I need a favor. How messy? He asked. Family messy. He laughed. Oh, this is going to be fun. We met the next day. I brought everything. The spreadsheets, the public filings, the lien, the mortgage. He went through it in under an hour. This is clean, he said. You want me to write a report? Better, I said. I want you to come to Thanksgiving dinner. He looked up. You're serious? Completely. We spent 2 days building a presentation. Nothing fancy. Just numbers, dates, sources, every claim cited, every figure double-checked, printed binders, simple slides. My one rule, no editorializing. Just facts. Let the numbers tell the story, I said. Kevin grinned. They will. I sent my RSVP to my mom's email. I'll be there. And I'm bringing someone who can help us all get on the same page. She wrote back in all caps. Just bring the check. I didn't reply. Thanksgiving came. I wore my best poker face. And I brought my receipts. The dining room was full. My parents. My brother and his wife. 2 aunts, my uncle. 3 cousins. Everyone there to watch me fold. We made it through appetizers. Small talk. Forced smiles. Then my dad stood up. He cleared his throat. Gave a little speech about family. About loyalty. About sacrifice. Some people think money is more important than blood, he said. He looked right at me. So, did you bring what you owe us? The table went silent. I stood up. I brought something better, I said. I brought clarity. I gestured to Kevin. He'd been sitting quietly at the end of the table. This is Kevin Tran. He's a forensic accountant. And he's going to walk us through the actual numbers. My mom's face went white. This is a private family matter. Kevin smiled. Calm. Professional. Then maybe it shouldn't have been litigated on Facebook. He pulled out a remote and clicked. The TV on the wall lit up. Slide 1. Payments from our friend here to her parents. 2017 to 2023. Documented and verified. Total $54,250. My aunt gasped. Slide 2. Business distributions from the family LLC. 2020 to 2023. He paused. $52,000 to dad. $85,000 to brother. Total, $137,000. One of my cousins leaned forward. Wait, you told us the business was failing. My dad's face was red. This is out of context. You don't understand. Slide 3. IRS tax lien filed March 2023. Amount owed $41,230. Status, unpaid. Silence. Kevin turned off the TV, handed out the binders. Everything is cited. Public records. Bank statements. You can verify it yourselves. My brother tried to stand. His wife put a hand on his arm. I looked at my parents. I'm not paying $78,000 I don't owe, I said. But I'm also not asking for my $12,000 in unpaid loans back. I just want honesty. My mom started crying. Real tears this time. My uncle stood up. I think your parents and I need to have a conversation, he said quietly. Everyone else, let's give them space. The room cleared. I packed my things. And I walked out of that house for the last time as their scapegoat. The lawyer's letter disappeared a week later. No apology, no explanation, just gone. My uncle called me once, brief, kind. I didn't know the full picture, he said. I'm helping them set up a payment plan with the IRS, and I'm taking a look at the business. Thank you, I said. He paused. I wish you'd come to me first. But you did the right thing. My brother sent one text. You humiliated them. Don't contact me again. I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. But two of my cousins reached out privately. Sophie. I had no idea. Thank you for not backing down. Mark. We should grab coffee. I want to hear your side of everything. Small mercies. I sent my parents one email. Short, clear. I'm open to rebuilding our relationship. But only with honesty and a therapist present. Let me know if and when you're ready. I never got a response. I didn't chase it. 6 months later, I'm in a new apartment. Brighter, quieter. My partner and I are stronger. Therapy helped. I got promoted at work. My boss said I handled pressure better than anyone she'd ever seen. I didn't tell her why. The old family photos are in a box in my closet. Not thrown away, just put away. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You gave them the truth. What they do with it isn't your responsibility. She's right. I didn't win. There's no winning when a family breaks. But I didn't lose myself either. I set a boundary, I held it, and I walked away with my integrity intact. That's enough. Here's what I want you to hear. You don't owe anyone access to your peace, not even the people who raised you. Boundaries aren't betrayal. They're survival. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and keeping your sanity? What did you do? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button, because I've got more receipts where these came from. Wherever you are tonight, whatever you're walking away from, I see you. And you're not alone. This has been a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. But the lesson is real. Protect your peace and keep your receipts.